Hello, good evening. I'm here to talk about a very important topic. Individual choices differs. What do I mean by individual choices differs? This idea of people directing people to do certain things and I want to please them, not to displease the person. Everybody has a right to do whatever he or she likes, in as far as you are 18 years old. This idea of people telling people not to build house in Nigeria or something, I don't think it's nice. It's good at all. It is not the business of anybody. That is not a good advice. You are in abroad. You are telling somebody do not build house in Nigeria. It's a waste. What do you mean it's a waste? I don't really like that one. Individual choices differs. The very day your mother gave birth to you is different from the very day my mother gave birth to me. My thinking faculty and your thinking faculty are totally different. You have no right whatsoever to tell anybody what to do with his or her life. I do read sometimes on the internet when I see people making unnecessary comments. It is very uncalled for. Okay, let's look at it this way. You are in America, you are in London, you are anywhere in abroad. It doesn't matter wherever you are. Okay, somebody was in Nigeria. Why did he leave Nigeria in the first place? He wants a better life for himself, isn't it? Okay, if he was in Nigeria, he didn't travel out. What will be in his mind is, oh, let me get a good job so that I can build my own house. He didn't say, I can buy my own house in America. That is easy in Nigeria there. What will be thinking, oh, let me get a good job so that I will get a land, I will build my house, I will marry, have children, put them in school. In Nigeria there, not abroad. It's not talking about abroad now. That is in Nigeria. Okay, now, such individual now happen to travel abroad. This is somebody that have that mindset already that if I have money, I'm going to build a house, I'm going to buy land, I'm going to do all those kind of things. That was in Nigeria. Okay, now, such person now have the opportunity to travel abroad. On getting to abroad, what will be his first thing to do is to get the papers for his security so that when he's now secured, he will now be thinking of working to save some money to take care of himself and his family. Wherever the family comes up, it does not matter. Whether the wife is from Nigeria, the wife is a white woman, it does not really matter. The most important thing is that to take care of his family, to live a good life, and do whatever he or she pleases with his life. So this idea of people saying, don't build house in Nigeria, is a waste, this and this. Who told you it's a waste? It's not a waste at all. Anywhere you build your house is good. If you build your house in Nigeria, good. If you build your house you buy a house in abroad, is good. Whichever one is good. How do I say? Let me explain very much. Okay, now you build a house in Nigeria, you live in abroad. The only difference where I can say there are some lapses is if, for example, you spend say 40 million naira to build self-contained in Nigeria, self-contained, only your house, no business, nothing, only your house in Nigeria, you are in abroad. Okay, in that case, that house you built the 40 million is not yielding any revenue at all. It's not. It's just there. Fine. But let's assume somebody else used that same 40 million and built 6 flats in Nigeria. For example, 6 flats. Those 6 flats, you put it on rent and you're in abroad. Those 6 flats will be fetching you money no matter how small. That 40 million with which you build those 6 flats, by the end of the year, let's assume you get 2 million naira at the end of the year. When you get rent for 5 years, that is 10 million. So what it means is that 40 million with which you built a house has now been decreased to 30 million. It's not assumed that house will be with 30 million because you've already got to 10 million as rent for 5 years at the rate of 2 million a year. Let's assume. Then, if you get rent for 10 years for that same house, 6 flats you have, then that means you have made 20 million for that house for 10 years, which means the money with which you build that house is 20 million. That's the meaning. Because you used 40 million to build it initially. Now you've gotten 20 million back as a result of the rent you got from the house. It's totally different from somebody who just use 40 million to build self-contained, and nothing is coming out. No revenue is coming out. It's just there. It's totally different. So in that case, you cannot say somebody who built house in Nigeria is a waste. It's not a waste. So that's why I say it depends on the kind of house you build. Somebody who builds his flat and is getting rent from it every month, every year, then somebody who builds self-contained is not getting rent. It's totally different. That is one aspect. Another aspect is this. Okay, you live in abroad. You want to come back to your home country. Where do you stay? Hotel? Fine. If you want to stay for 1 week or 2 weeks, fine. You can stay in a hotel because you don't have a house. Or even if I don't think anybody that have house in Nigeria want to go and stay in a hotel. That's the first place. Okay, you come to your own country. You are not a refugee in your own country. A country that you are supposed to be free. You are supposed to live comfortably, free and relaxed. You go and stay in a hotel. It's like you're a refugee. There's no difference between you and a white man coming from another country come and stay in a hotel. There's no difference. Because you are just like a refugee in your own country. And you have the whole means of building a house and living in your house. Even if it is 2 rooms you build, it is your own house. You are coming from abroad to come and stay in a hotel in your own country. Then a white man will leave his own country to come and stay in a hotel in my country. Then that white man in his own country, he have his own flat. He's staying there. You want to go and buy a mansion in abroad, fine. But what I'm saying is totally different. A white man have a house in his own country. That is his own personal house or the family house. When he travel abroad, he doesn't know anybody. He goes to stay in a hotel. You understand? This is your country, Nigeria. You not travel abroad and bought a house there. Then in your own country, you don't have a house. You are coming to stay in a hotel in your own country. That is a big shame on you. A big shame. Even if it's only 2 rooms you built, only 2 rooms you have, and you are staying there, is better. So anybody condemning somebody building houses in his own country is not right. It's not saying the right thing. And if you die, your children, let anybody want to collect a house, let it collect when you die. It doesn't matter. It is good when you come to your own country, you stay in your own house. You cannot go and be staying in a hotel. Okay, there are some people who come to Nigeria, they stay in Nigeria for 6 months. There are some that stay 3 months. Some stay 1 month. Some stay 2 weeks. Okay, imagine somebody wants to stay for 6 months. He go and stay in a hotel for 6 months. Let's assume that hotel is 10,000 naira a day. Let me just say example. Assume that hotel is 10,000 naira a day. That means he has to spend 300,000 naira a month. Then 6 months is 1.8 million naira for hotel, just to pay for hotel. That is just rent for the hotel. That means every month. That's at the end of the 6 months. Let's assume you stay 6 months. You pay 1.8 million naira for staying in the hotel for 6 months. Then what about feeding? By the time he now feeds, he now takes care of one or two. Let's assume he has a car. He now takes care of one or two things. Then what's going to happen? He will spend up 3 to 4 million naira, or even more than that. That 3 to 4 million naira, if you put it in your house, which you have, for example, you have 6 flats, you used to renovate that house. Don't you need to be beautiful? That 3 to 4 million you spent in a hotel does not belong to you. If you use it to renovate your house, like you buy cement or anything, let them repaint the house and make it very beautiful. Is it not good? Then you are telling me, then that is one aspect. Then look at the shame. What are people going to say? That somebody who lives in abroad, who has money, he has been there for so many years, you are coming to Nigeria to go and stay in a hotel. Or you want to go and live in your father's house? Or your brother's house? People in Nigeria who managed to build a house in Nigeria, like not too beautiful, you want to come and live with them? What do you mean by that? When are you going to be comfortable in your own country? People are saying you don't stay in Nigeria, you are living abroad. So when you come to your country, you just stay 2 weeks and run back. So you don't need to build a house in Nigeria. It's a lie. It's very good. Myself, if I have money, I will build a house in Nigeria there. It not concern anybody. if you marry a white woman or your children were born in abroad, they are not coming to Nigeria to come and stay. Who is talking of stay here? Wherever you, it doesn't matter whether they come and stay or not. It doesn't matter. Even look at it this way. Even in Nigeria, safe. If you have a wife and child, a wife and children there, your children are all going to leave you. They're not going to stay with you forever. When they are advanced, they are in school, university, and all the rest. When they graduate, they are going to fend for themselves. They are not going to live with you in your Nigeria house, in our abroad house. Even the abroad you are talking about. When your children are of age, when they are 18 years, they stay on their own. They don't stay with you. It's only you and your wife that will be in that house, whether Nigeria or abroad. So it doesn't matter. And again, this is abroad people are talking about. When you buy a house in abroad, after paying mortgage for 35 years, you will still continue to pay tax on that house. You will still continue to pay tax. You won't say because you don't buy the house when it has in years. No, you're going to pay tax for the rest of your life. Okay, look at the disadvantage of that something. Now you bought a house in abroad. They now said, okay, you're going to pay the rent of this house. Maybe let's assume that house is $400,000. They say you're going to pay for 35 years. Okay, every month you have to pay 100,000 naira or yen or whichever, maybe $1,000 every month, for example. Then, what if you are not able to pay that money at the end of the month due to anything? Anything can happen to anybody at any time. Sickness, anything, eventuality, you don't even expect happen. There are cases where some people just develop stroke, waist pain, different kind of difficulty, anything that will involve taking your money away. You think the agent, the agent or who sold the house for you will accept? You have already signed agreements that every month you will be paying $1,000. Who cares whether you have any problem? You will still pay that $1,000, whether you have it or not. But it's totally different from somebody who rented a house. If that person rent is $1,000 and he cannot afford it, he can move to an apartment of $500 in a month. But you that bought a house, if you sign an agreement that you will pay $1,000 every month, it must be $1,000. You cannot run away from it. It's like you use rope to tie your neck. You can't run away. Whatever has advantage has disadvantage also. People don't understand this. Then that house you bought in abroad, it's not giving you any money. It's not yielding you any profit. It's just a personal house for you, your wife, and your children. And these children you are talking about, they are all going to leave the house for you. You go and buy a very big house because of your wife and children. Those children, when they leave, who's going to stay in the house? Because that house, you are paying the rent, the mortgage for 35 years. And your children, when they are 18 years, they have already left the house. So what's going to happen? All those big rooms that is meant for your children, who's going to stay? You want to put it out for rent? How? It's not possible. Even if it's possible, how much are they going to pay for rent? That will be enough to pay your mortgage. So when people they talk, you should be mindful of what you are saying. You marry your wife in abroad, you born your children in abroad. They are not coming to Nigeria to stay. Who's hesitant to come and stay? Even those that live in Nigeria who have children, do they stay with their parents forever? When they stay 18 years, they have the right to stay wherever they want. There are so many houses in Nigeria now. The father, the mother, no child, all their children are all big, they are all grown up. They are not living on their own. They are not staying with their parents. It's the same thing abroad. There's no difference. So stop discouraging people who build us Nigeria as if they don't know what they are doing. Don't discourage anybody. Everybody has right to live wherever he or she likes. Everybody has right to do whatever he or she likes. The only thing I would have expected anybody to tell people is that when you are building a house in Nigeria, make sure it is a business house. It's not a personal house where you just build a big. No, make sure that house is what tenant will stay to collect money from them. So that in case you are going on a visit, you don't need to carry money along with you. The money tenants are paying to your account. That's what you spend when you get to Nigeria. So that the one you have in abroad is just like savings for you. Because you are not telling people not to build house in Nigeria. Okay, now you are going to Nigeria now. That means you have to work extra hard here in abroad to carry your dollars to Nigeria to come and be paying in the hotel. After paying those dollars in the hotel, you now fit, you come back empty-handed and start all over again. Then the same situation, another fellow like you build a house in Nigeria, 6 flats, put it on rent. They are paying him money. He's not going to Nigeria without anything, no money, nothing, because he already has money in the accounts there, which is going to spend. Don't you see you two of you are different people? There are cases of some people in abroad, because of one sickness or the other, they come back to Nigeria to come and live. In Japan, yeah, there's a case like that, but I don't want to mention the country and the name of the person. This guy has been here for 26 years. He married a Japanese woman and he has 3 kids. He has been working, struggling to take care of those children. He now developed waist pain. Went to the hospital, took treatment. The waist pain subsided and he came back again. It was then doctor now told him, my brother, you have to stop the job you are doing and look for a very easy job to do. What did he do? He stopped his work and started doing a security guard job. Stay on the streets, controlling traffic, all those security guard job. And the money they pay him is very small. And he has a wife and 3 kids. When the wife now found out that the money he's bringing at the end of the month is nothing to write home about, quarrel came back. Problem here and there. The wife's salary is not enough. Your salary is not enough. There is calamity in the family. Quarrel here and there. The wife no longer see him as a responsible man. Then as he was doing that job, the waist pain came back again because security work is not still easy. You have to stand for morning till night. That's security job. Because as you're having waist pain, you're supposed to be sitting down, supposed to be resting, but he's still standing all through from 8 a.m. in the morning till 5 p.m. He's supposed to close and go back. He's still standing. No time to. Security people, they don't sit down. It's only when they are on break time, they can sit down and have dinner and lunch, dinner, kind of thing. After that, you stand all over. So this guy, the waist pain came back. He can't do anything anymore. What did the wife say? Just go back to your country. And this guy doesn't have a land in his country. He don't get house. He don't get anybody. Even when the brothers were telling him, please come and buy a plot of land or build small flat, 3-bedroom flat. He said, to hell with you people. I'm not coming. That poor that country, look at everywhere. I better not fit. Then I will come, there's no lights, there's no this, there's no, start complaining. No light, the road is very bad. Government is not, I better not they come. This man, I'm going to stay here. So the brother said, okay. Then the brothers over there, they were able to gather money, bought land for themselves, build small house for themselves, move in with their family. Even if the house is not that beautiful, but they are living with their family there comfortably. Then this guy here now, he doesn't have a land in Africa. He don't get house, he don't get land, he don't get anything. Upon all the advice your brother gave, okay, you bring money, buy this land, don't build house, don't do anything, leave it and go back. The man refused. He said, no way. And he has lived in Abu for 26 years. What happened? The wife said, go back to your country and take treatment. When the guy came back to the country, no house to stay. And the brothers said they are not going to put him in his house, in their house. He should go and look for where to stay. He doesn't have money to stay at the hotel. The brothers don't want to put him in his house. What did he do? He has to go to the village. Because their grandmother's house in the village is old and like that. So he has to renovate the grandmother's house in the village. That's where he's staying. Then he started taking treatments there in the village with all those native people. You see life? You see life. Somebody who's living in a mansion, a very beautiful house in abroad, is now in the village where there's no light, nothing, suffering because of greed. I don't want to be as in my country. That country is nonsense. You see, they said, man proposed, God disposes. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Because if you do, and that basket break, you are in trouble. All the eggs will break. That is the mistake most people are making. They just believe that your country where you are coming from is nothing to write home about, so there's no point building a house or buying land or doing anything. But you don't know how tomorrow things can change. So many people today now, not what they planned that is happening now. Some people wish they have this, they have this, they have that. But that is not what they are getting today. Things have changed. Situations have changed. So you do not discourage person from building house in his own country. Anything can happen. Look at the recent case now of a man who has stayed 21 years in America. When he got to Nigeria now, no house, nothing. He's now sleeping under the bridge in Lagos. Why? Because he doesn't have a house in Nigeria. This is the man from America we're talking about. He said he has been in America for 20-something years. How many years he has been there? I don't know the kind of problem he has, whether it's spiritual problem or not. But now, he came to Nigeria sleeping under the bridge. Is that life? There is no life. So that is it. So this idea of discouraging people from building house in Nigeria should stop. It's not right. Sometimes the way people think is different from realities of life. It's only God that can know what's going to happen to anybody, not human being. You cannot predict it. If you build house in Africa, your brothers will use juju and kill you and take it from you. How do you know that? How? The only situation where those things can happen is when you are building your house, you give the money to your brother, your sister, your mother to build it for you. And when they eat your money, you come back to Africa, you start asking them, drawing them for the money. They refuse to give you. They tell you they don't have. That's when they can use juju to kill you so that you stop disturbing them. But if you didn't give your money to anybody, you are doing it yourself. It doesn't matter how many years you come to Africa, then you if it is 2 or 3 layers or 4 layers you are able to make, you make it go back. You come back and do it. Nobody's going to do for you because you didn't give money to anybody to build the house for you. Many people do that. They give people money to build the house for them, only for them to come back. Or find that the money they sent, the house, they didn't build it properly. They will use one bag of cement to miss one tipper of sand. Before you know it, 4 or 5 years, you see the house crack, problem everywhere. By the time you start drawing them money, they want to kill you. It's because you gave them money to do the house for you. That is the situation. So we should stop this idea of discouraging people from building houses in Africa. Because the ones in abroad where you are living, you pay mortgage. It's not a business place, a personal house. You pay mortgage. And if you don't pay, they are going to sell the house. If they say $1,000 every month you have to pay, you must pay $1,000. Whether you are sick or not, it doesn't concern them. But it's totally different from somebody who is paying $1,000 for a house. Then because he cannot afford the rent, he can go and rent a house for $500 and pay at the end of the month. But you that bought a house, you are paying $1,000. It must be $1,000. You cannot go back to $500 say because you don't have money. And after paying your rent, after paying everything, let's assume that house is 400,000. You are finished paying 400,000. You will still continue to pay tax on that house every month, whether you like it or not, for the rest of your life. If you don't pay, they will sell the house. Whether after you finish paying the $400,000, if you don't pay tax, they will sell the house. They will send papers, documents. Come and pay tax, come and pay. If you don't pay, they will tell you they want to sell the house. How are you sure if the house you bought, it was not somebody who has not paid tax, they sold it and gave it to you, renovated it and gave it to you? How are you not sure? How are you sure? that that house which they bought, which you are living now, which you bought with your money, it is not somebody else who owns the house because he has not been able to pay mortgage. They now sold it to you, renovated the house and sold it to you. Are you sure? So what I'm trying to say is that this idea of condemning people for building houses in Africa should stop. It's not right. How can you go back to your own country, go and stay in a hotel? Okay, let's assume you go back to Africa now. You stay in a hotel. You bought a car. Let's say you want to stay 1 month. You have your own personal car. Then when you want to go back, where are you going to park it? Your brother's house? A place you say you don't want to build a house. To hell with Africa. You want to park car in your brother's house? What if it doesn't accept? Then you sell the car. Sell it, no problem. What if the car is so special to you, you like it very well, you don't want to sell it? Where are you going to park it? You're supposed to park it in your own house. Even if it's just 2 rooms, there must be a space outside where you can park your cars. So this idea of discouraging people from building a house, it should stop. It's not right. Forget about what's going to happen later. Like in case anything happens to him, the children are not coming here to stay. Who is saying children come to stay or not? Is that what we are talking about here? Even in Nigeria now, there are so many houses now that the children, even they live in Nigeria, they don't stay. Like somebody, you have a son graduated now, then is in Benin. They now have a business in Abuja doing. He bought a house in Abuja, is living there. Is he come to stay in Benin? He knows the house in Benin belongs to him, but he's not coming to Benin to stay. He's in Abuja. Okay, what if that house is a personal house? It's not a business house. What it is going to do? Go sell it. Because that's not yielding anything. You're going to sell the house. So stop discouraging people from building houses in Africa. That's what are my points. Everybody is free to build a house anywhere he or she likes. Whatever he or she likes, he can do. That is the point. I'm going to end this video here right now. Please share. Share so that other people can listen and can see. Thank you very much. And I wish you all a happy new year in advance. I stop here so far. Thank you very much. And bye-bye.